Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. For thousands across South Africa, winter isn't just cold, it is dangerous. And that's why this Christmas in July, we're highlighting the extraordinary work of the Mzansi Foundation. From nutrition to healthcare, education to disaster relief, this grassroots organization has been restoring dignity and saving lives since 1986. So joining us in the couch right now is their director, the beautiful Kharonisa Johnson Kasim, to share how Mzansi continues to be part of a source of hope no matter the season. Welcome and thank you so much for being here.
Morning. Well, thank you for having us on Expresso.
Of course. You guys have been doing incredible work. I mean, nearly 40 years in the game, like I mentioned earlier, just offering hope and making sure that that resilience is definitely part of people's lives. So for those who don't know, tell us a little bit more about the story that got you to where you are today.
Well, Mzansi Foundation was established in the 80s, particularly in 1986 with the Crossroads violence. And there was a group of people, young, not so young, seniors, doctors, lawyers, students. I was still a student at that point in time.
Wow.
And we just went out to assist the community in order to make sure that there's warm food, there's clothing, there's blankets. And from there, the organization transformed into what we are today. It was activism from a political but also from a social perspective, because it was our duty to see to those who came from the urban, rural areas. And that is how the organization grew, where we now have 5 core functions, initially concentrating on the women and children because those were affected more. But then finalizing that even though we work with women and children, the situation hasn't changed. So we worked with families. And in 1992, we formatted with the 5 core functions of the organization, where we now are under education, poverty alleviation, community development, healthcare, and disaster relief. So we partner with the city to do our disaster relief. And that's probably part of our most active work that we also do.
That you do. That is incredible
this time
work.
Of the year.
Yes, of course. I mean, winter is brutal. Many people, you know, exactly, we hear shivering, and many people don't even have the luxury of shelter, of extra clothing, of warm clothing at that as well. But I know that you serve over 15,000 people daily, which is absolutely incredible work. And there's just something about putting hope into action and making sure that your activism does impact people's lives. So what has been the result of this? What sort of impact are you seeing on the ground?
Well, we don't feed 15,000. We actually feed 27,900
Come on,
people.
that is
so
incredible.
It's not just locally, but as far as Eastern Cape as
Wow.
well. Well, the need is great, and it changes all the time. And what we found out that even though we feed, we also do education.
Sure.
So we feed the mind and feed the belly. But it's been an experience to see how many of our community people actually don't have food on the table, that are struggling. And people who are working, that generally are working, but they are not able to see to their needs, basic needs in the sense of a meal. And Mzansi comes in there where we actually support our communities. In particular, like you'll find our women scuttling there for domestic work, for any form of work. And they have to pay rent, they have to pay water, they have to pay electricity. And that warm meal, like now, we've been feeding in the morning at the Sasa queue for people. And you just thank you for being there for that meal, to keeping us warm. And then you actually have children who go to school without a meal.
Wow.
And I mean, that's always being said in the sense of what we do. But this has actually been something that the organization has been doing for almost 40 years by providing a meal, sometimes twice for those affected and infected, for those with cancer patients to make sure they have their tablets. Like we have a lot of things on prevention. Prevention is better than cure.
Absolutely.
But our feeding and particularly have made a lot of people, and like our volunteers that has been the Men for Change. I mean, if I look at them, they say this is the fact that when they went out to feed, impacted them in their lives to realize that they have a plate of food, but there's people who don't have anything. So we've seen a lot of changes within our community. The fact that meals has been served with dignity and pride, and that has given people hope to say that there are people who care. There's people who loves us enough to make sure that we actually do have a meal.
Absolutely. Sometimes it's just enough to feel seen, you know, to make sure that people acknowledge your presence and see you as a human being. And it speaks to that Ubuntu element in South Africa. I am because you are. I mean, we are made for communities. We're made for social beings for each other.
I think that's probably the one thing
Yeah.
that Western Cape has, is the fact that we have NGOs out there 24/7 at times. And Mustadafin is one of those who actually are there to serve. I always tell a team, if we will not be able to have employment, if we are not there to serve the community that we are working with.
Can I just say thank you for the wonderful work you do every single day, and also congratulations to Mustadafin coming on to 40 years doing this and serving the people, serving South Africa, and we wish you a beautiful 40 plus more years going forward. So thank you so much for sharing and joining us today.
No, thank you for having us and giving us the opportunity to share the work that we do. And we hope that we can do more, but that is only because we get the support of the community that we are able to do what we do best.
How can people support you very quickly before we
go? We would need your support in a sense, particularly right now. We're actually looking for baby clothing.
Okay.
We're looking for people to support us more with food, but we need funding, to make things happen. We need a vehicle. We need a 4x4, particularly now with the floods and what's happening in our community. So if there's anyone out there to assist the community, visit us on www.mustadafin.org.za. Mustadafin has a saying, if every man helps his neighbor, then who will need help?
Sure.
So, yeah, we're asking our neighbors.
Yes, neighbors, we're calling on you. If everybody just helps their neighbors, there would be nothing left to do. So make sure that you do your part. There you have it, Mzansi. Warm bodies, warm hearts, through care, action, and of course support. So thank you so much to Kharanisa and the Mustadafin team for reminding us that dignity is the greatest gift that we've got to give. And don't forget to speak to your pharmacists about the ADCOCK INGRAM Winter Survival Pack to make sure that you get through this very bitterly cold season and stand a chance to win 2,000 Rand. All you have to do to get into that is tell us how Be Prepared 365.co.za has helped you and your family stay healthy this winter, and use that hashtag #OTCWinter. Now, this competition does close this Sunday, and T's and C's can be found on expressoshow.com. But make sure while you're on your internet to also visit BePrepared365.co.za for more winter wellness tips. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you.